please, if you want to sign up for public speaking, you're welcome to do that. But you just walked in, and we just called the meeting to order. And I'm sorry.
What do you need?
I don't have an agenda. Thank you.
We already got it.
Okay, call to order and declare, that's something else. Declare a quorum. Thank you. And we'll begin with, this is the Boulder Library District meeting for December 16th, 2025. We'll begin with public comment. And since it's a kind of a crowded room, I think we had other rooms, but we picked this one, I guess. John Bozick? Okay, let me start my timer. You get 3 minutes.
Oh, you got 13.
Go ahead.
Okay, my name's John Bozick, and my wife Kathy and I lived in Boulder for 25 years. And we raised both our boys here. And my oldest one, Nick, was on the team board and actually got an award for volunteering for the work we did. One of the main reasons I'm speaking here is I know there's an issue of being a union. I'm a BMA member. I've been with BMA for 15 years. If those who don't know, it's the Boulder Municipal Employees Association. And what I have seen is something I just want to bring up. A lot of people say it's all about the money. No. It's about communication. Communication between management and the people. And it sets the rules down and allows both sides to know what they can do and how they can do it. But I found that it's incredible. Once the management and union work together, you get so much more done. And I should know because I came from a very disruptive department. And now, once I developed that communication between my managers, things are so much better now. So that's a couple things I just wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next person is Melanie Borski Howard.
That's it. All right, I'm gonna stand up so everybody can see me, because I'm a storyteller at heart. Hello, my name is Melanie Borski Howard. I am a youth services program specialist. I started working for the Boulder Public Library in September 2001 as the assistant to the YS manager. I fell in love with Boulder. I fell in love with this library. I started doing story times, and I fell in love with the community. I've read to children I now see attending college. I am still friends with many of their parents. I helped start the first teen space, ran the teen boards, which Nick was a part of, for several years, and I am still friends with several of those teens. In 2014, the city of Boulder announced that there was going to be some repositioning. I was hired at a particular level and was told I'd be moved to a lower one. I was confused. I had never been seriously reprimanded, and I have always gotten very good reviews. As a union member at the time, I decided to check in with my union representative. I am so glad I did. BMEA's union rep, Becky Adams, was so kind to me. She advocated for me. She spoke to me on several occasions. She spoke for me as I was in meetings about what was going on. Because I had a union representing me, my demotion was overturned. I was told by library administration it was a mistake. And because I hadn't received a negative review, they shouldn't have proposed it. I received a new title and I continued my work. I am so proud with what I do at this library. I've read to your children in preschool. Jennifer, I started with you down in the basement. I know from experience that a union would benefit not only the incredible staff that I work with, but also the community. because we work with them every day. We put beloved book in their hands. We help them create Gmail accounts. We create relationships with everyone and help them navigate the world and so much. We are the community. We speak to the community. When we became a district, I had 600 sick hours. I told Sam Fuqua, I have 600 sick hours, and he's like, we're gonna try to save them, and you did. You saved a little of them, but I lost a lot of them. I lost a large portion of that, but more importantly, I lost the union support that I was so thankful for. I don't care about losing those sick hours. I do care about losing a union. Please, with all urgency, move forward on letting us create a union. Thank you for your time. Way harder than a group of 2-year-olds.
Cosmo? I'll go over Melanie when.
Can I ask, maybe not standing right behind you?
Sure.
There's this difference. I apologize. I can't look at a person. Yeah, I can't look at a person when they're reminding me. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, cool. Hello, my name is Cosmo Wright. I'm a library materials handler here, and I would just like to take a moment to thank all the board members for giving us both their time and their thorough and thoughtful questions on the December 2nd board meeting. We can see that you all want to give this important library business the care and consideration it deserves, and we're hopeful that the December 2nd board meeting was just the beginning of a constructive dialogue between the Boulder library workers and the Library Board of Trustees. Excuse me. We as members of the Boulder Library Workers Organizing Committee are here not for ourselves, but because we feel an overwhelming mandate from the supermajority of staff that have signed union cards to organize and deliver a collective bargaining policy that is satisfactory for all concerned parties. We hope the board can see our seriousness in this issue, and we would like to once again ask that a subcommittee meeting is scheduled soon between us and the board. Thank you for your time.
All right, Sean, is it Chase?
Yep. Hello, my name is Sean M. Chase. I work at the Denver Art Museum. I've been there for about 10 years now, and I am the senior-most member organizer for Denver Art Museum Workers United. Prior to moving to Denver, I also worked in a small library in Maine for 7 years. I'm here today to support my fellow cultural workers at Boulder Public Library as they seek to unionize. I was here a few weeks ago for your last board meeting, and I heard both library workers and board members speak to the benefits of having a union, and also ask some questions and voice some of their reservations about it. Firstly, you have a beautiful library here, so I want to congratulate you on that. I also want to congratulate you on all the library workers here because I know how much time, energy, and skill goes into organizing a union. Building up channels of communication to keep people updated and networking with colleagues in different positions and departments. It's a lot of work. None of that comes easily, and it demonstrates real leadership skills and commitment, which in turn will only ensure that this library runs more efficiently and can serve the public even better. That brings me to the second part of what I would like to say. At the last board meeting, board members said that in theory they supported the idea of a union bringing more democracy to the library, but they were also concerned it might result in a kind of transfer of power. While that former is certainly true, I think the latter overlooks the fact that power and responsibility are inseparable, and that the workers here have already shown that they are willing to take on extra responsibility and service to one another and to the public by forming their union. In the most basic sense, they are already exercising the power they do have, making their commitment to BPL known and embodying a higher form of service to each other, to library patrons, and to the community at large. I find that to be very commendable and altruistic. Lastly, I want to speak to something else that was said at the previous board meeting. When a number of board members conveyed that they didn't want to see BPL bogged down in protracted negotiations like Denver Art Museum and Jefferson County Public Library, as someone who is now in that situation, I agree that that is best avoided, and the surest way to prevent that from occurring is through voluntary recognition of their union. We all know that a supermajority of staff has signed union cards. The majority has already made their wishes to unionize clear, perfectly illustrating the effectiveness of direct democracy. Passing a collective bargaining policy that asks staff to have a union election, however, could be both an unnecessary prolonging of the process and also a costly one. What's more, by recognizing the union now, you maintain a spirit of cooperation, mutual respect, and productivity between employer and employee. From what I've heard from BPL staff, they are mostly satisfied with wages and benefits, and this is very rare among workers seeking to unionize, who often cite both as primary motivations. I think that speaks volumes to their good intentions, the desire to create a more democratic, equitable, and fair workplace that can serve the public more efficiently. This can also be achieved more expeditiously if a cooperative and mutually beneficial relationship between employer and employee is maintained. So I'd like to echo Christine's request from last meeting and ask that you grant BPL workers voluntary recognition. Thank you.
Anyone online? Is there anyone online that wants to speak? If you're, raise your hand if you're online and you would like to participate in the comment. Okay. Seeing no one, I'm going to close public comment. Okay. Next, we're going to consider the meeting minutes from November 18th and December 2nd. Anyone have any comments or questions on the meeting minutes? Anyone? Can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes? If that's possible.
So moved.
All right. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I should ask, does anybody have any comments on the board for the public comment? All right. My only comment is, I think, we are going into executive session at the end to talk about that, talk about some of our questions. That's we're still working through it. So we're gonna get there at the end of the meeting.
Can we confirm that we'll establish whether there's a subcommittee meeting that would happen?
Yeah, I mean,
After the discussion?
yeah, I think I want to talk about the calendar first, and then when we could schedule that meeting. I think there's during the trustee matters. Do we have the calendar printed out, Celia, that I sent out to everyone?
I can print it.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
The, like advanced agenda?
Yeah, the advanced agenda. Sorry. That's when I think we can talk about that, and then
That was just,
any other things, because we might need another special meeting just to handle the agenda items.
okay.
Okay. Communications and marketing plan.
Yeah, I will. She phoned me.
I don't think so.
I think we have room next to David.
You can.
Wait.
Maria, do you want to sit in my seat? I'm gonna go get the
I just want to share the screen. I don't mind about, I'm sharing, but it's not showing now.
Yes, that's true.
No? It won't work in a second. It's working. I don't know. It just says the preferred
I know.
camera.
It just- And then even?
Yeah, I'm in the meeting, yeah.
Do you have to make her like a co-host?
No,
Or is it, maybe that is not turned on?
oh, it might be showing up on that side. I don't know.
Hey, Tom,
That's probably it.
is there an on button over there? Andy's our tech.
I think it's that thing, yeah. That sounds right. I think on the other camera.
See how many people it takes to turn on the television.
Where it's on this side.
No, not that one.
Is there a remote?
It's okay. Amy,
Amy's on.
Amy's online.
There it goes. Something happened.
It's on.
You're good. Let's see. Source.
Maybe progress.
Yeah.
I don't even know where.
There you go.
Somewhere too.
Probably at the birthday party next door.
Yeah.
Amy is just there.
Yeah, she is. We're gonna cut her.
I would assume it's that one. Not enough. We could also just,
Hey!
just disconnect this one.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Oh, wait.
It's okay. It's all in one now.
Awesome. Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
Amy has a PhD.
So,
TVs.
okay, for those that don't know me, my name is Maria. I lead the marketing and communications team here at the library. And thank you to David, allow me to briefly update everybody what the department has been doing in the past few months. So, we are going to walk through, what the challenge is, how we build some internal tools to solve it, how we are going to improve our online presence, some wins that we have achieved in the past few months, and also what are we going to be doing next. So we all know that there is a gap on the patron awareness of what the services that the library offer. So many of them don't know what the library has: a makerspace, a theater, or only online resources. So this limits the community impact, the service utilization, and also the program engagement that we see. So our goal as the department is to make that connection stronger. We want to build a stronger community connections, and this has to be achieved through clear, consistent communication. We want to make sure that people can discover how the library can enrich their life. We need to find that the services are easy to navigate, and also everybody to feel welcome here. How success looks like for us will be, our program participation will go up. Also, the usage of the digital services will go up as well. We have a strong patron satisfaction and trust. And also, overall, the community will be more engaged and informed. We understand that to achieve those goals, we need to start from the inside and then go out. Meaning, we as the department and the library, we need to make sure that we are aligned and we have a clear communication internally before we can communicate externally. For that, we are addressing any inconsistent messaging that we have, gaps in communication between our teams, and also any unclear processes that we had before. For that, we built some competencies on the department to make sure that we as the communication department are in sync. We standardize the communication guidelines, and also we develop what we call the liaison program that we are going to be launching. So we will have one person in each department and location that is going to be the liaison with us to streamline the communications.
Can I ask you a question now?
Yeah.
Just my next slide. So just say a little more about competencies, like what would that, what does
Those
it
were
mean?
internal competencies.
Like
So
what?
for example, like we support each other. We have each other's back. Our communication is clear and consistent. So it was more the department communications internal competency so we can serve the entire library.
So like values or?
Yeah, we can say values, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So also another tool that we are going to be working on is our online presence. I think the team is doing a great job. So we want to, increase social media presence, and also we are going to be redesigning the website and event calendar in 2026. And also we are going to centralize the web and social under the communications team so we can ensure brand consistency. So some wins that we have achieved, we actually built our internal communication strategy. We expanded the team. Now we have a graphic designer, and really has improved the turnaround and the capacity of the team. We also developed the target newsletter. I think now we have 7 to 9, depending on the season. We conducted the 2025 patron survey. We also gather ongoing community feedback through our panel. We have 350 people. We are actually going to, our objective is to grow it more, and every couple of months we go and survey them. And also we launch a new event promotion process. As you know, the program guide is gone. Now we have flyers that are very location specific. They are doing pretty well, and it's very cost effective, and I think people are pretty happy with it. So it's working very well. In terms of what is next, so our priorities for the 2026, the team is going on a roadshow across all the different locations. We want to build a stronger relationship with the staff to make sure that any gaps in communications they don't exist anymore. Also help the staff to have a deeper understanding of our department, how we work, how we operate, and and then be able to support them, and also introduce the new guidelines that we have built. Also, we are going to embark on a brand refresh in 2026, starting in January, February, the first quarter. We want to modernize the library visual identity. We will be involved in the strategic planning, as you know, is going to be taking place in 2026. We are going to redesign the website and the calendar. We are going to work with the social media team, and we are also going to be launching the liaison program.
I'm sure it's in your thinking here, but my big issue is always adding that word district to everything.
Yes.
Yep. And any boilerplate stuff we have, we need to make sure we just update all of that with district be included. And then I just wondered, I think on the website, you've done a fabulous job in communicating the district and what we're about and the information and stuff, but just in some of these other things to just explain to people or remind people or use the map to.
The liaison program is the.
So we are going to be having one contact person in each location, and also department, for example, the makerspace, the theater,
Right.
all the branches.
That makes sense.
So everything, all the support, all the ask, will go through them, will funnel through them, so we make sure that we are not missing anything.
Great.
I think that will improve the efficacy and the efficiency of the communications. And that's it.
That's good.
And thank you for everybody, all the staff, because we won't be able to do this.
You raised something that kind of crossed my mind over the weekend. So I think I saw on social media, one of the days over the weekend, the makerspace was at capacity, and there was a sign that said, sorry, we can't take any more folks. So, and if folks don't know about the makerspace, and we're at that point, so I guess it's just something for us to placehold for future conversation is when more people know about it, what are we to do? Because we're already, hitting capacity
Have we
on
had
some
that
days.
kind of sign before?
Yeah.
It's common this time of year.
Oh, is it?
Oversubscribed.
Yeah, okay.
Building 61, Studio 24, and then oversubscribed. Really, since we opened them,
I mean, it's an issue, we've talked about it. And obviously it'll have to be something we address in this, the 2026 strategy is, it's not cheap.
Right.
But if we are able to increase the capacity.
Yeah.
They internally, they're discussing it all the time.
I've got a question for you on the website. Will we get to see the plan for what the redesigned website looks like and what the contract and everything when that time comes, or?
Sure, yeah, we are still interviewing vendors, and we are in the earlier stages of what we are going to,
Is the goal that you guys can hopefully like update on the back end, or are the vendors that you are interviewing, like every time you want to make a change, you're gonna have to go back to them and there's gonna be like that overhanging service fee?
Yeah, no, the idea is to bring that in-house. Right now, if we make any changes, we make them.
Okay.
We make the changes. So we have, some IT folks that help with that, and then in the communications team, there is one person that also knows how to do it.
And will they build an app for you too?
That's something that we can talk about it. We can talk about. We haven't done so much, we are just really at the beginnings, but that would be great.
Because it'd be interesting to look at your web traffic like over the past few years. Because like I just know from like my world, our web traffic has decreased so much. Like people aren't going to the web as much anymore, and instead like they're using like some kind of ChatGPT to like surface everything. But what has grown is apps. So I guess it would just be like as you're looking for vendors, helpful to think about like if they can build an app for you too, and then ask them like. The other piece is like, how do you optimize for AI? Because like people are like, what events are going on in the makerspace, right? If that is like in a calendar format on the webpage that has to be downloaded, like AI won't be able to find it, and then like the answer won't come up. So I think like just probe there a little bit, because like I just know like at my work, it's like we're making everything up on the website. We're like not sending as much traffic there because it's just not people don't use it as much anymore. It's crazy. So one thing to think about. The other thing I just wanted to ask you on was the social media team. What is that? Like you hired someone for social media? Or
No.
There's an internal?
Yeah, it's an internal team. Yeah.
It's a distributed model, so basically, I don't believe we've ever had a social media person on staff.
Okay.
It was the responsibility of various people, and then we have a distributed model with different people with different responsibilities day in, day out. And that worked fairly well for us for a number of years, but I don't know that it's working most effectively as we can. We know some of the posts don't get any traction, and we're still doing them 6 months later.
Yeah.
As far as your question on the web, most of the groups that applied have a distributed set of tools.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah, so the web is just one of the tools they would offer. I mean, in some cases, they offer the calendar and the web and apps and integrate with our catalog, with a lot of different things. So it's, there are some, I think, who applied who are mostly like web designers, and those are probably not ones that are going to be considered.
Yeah.
There was some, I think it was Communico, they came and they have this, they are in beta testing, still they are testing with a library in New York. There was this AI tool that they have on top, and it was, the demo looked amazing. And we were like, so very excited.
Yeah, so there's so much you can do, which is really cool, and but it sounds like you're thinking about it the right way.
Yeah, thank you.
But so on that front, do we have somebody who responds to like with a comment related to what like Sylvia picked up over the weekend, about the makerspace? I mean, is there somebody that like says, but hey, if you sign up, I don't know what the response would be, but
we manage we monitor the comments, and we answer people, both on Facebook and on Instagram.
And so there's a response. Did you see a response?
I didn't, but I was like one of the first to like it because I was like, yay, people are going to makerspace.
Not that you liked the fact that it was.
No. I liked the fact that there was information about the library that was sort of somewhat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect them to respond though, like unless there's something like really negative, then would it be a response from the Boulder Library? Otherwise, I would consider it like very neutral.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, hey, this is the cool thing we're doing. Like, oh my God, we outsold the makerspace.
Yeah.
That's how I would think of it.
And I think we would probably want to be careful about that because the response may need to come from, if it's something negative, it probably would need to come from David or upper level staff as opposed to whoever is on that team in that moment, just because that's how we handle like a lot of the comments that are received. We have a process for how that's.
Yeah, the team is very careful, you know, when they respond, and actually we are working on a policy for social media that we will bring to the board to be approved. So if there is something negative, we can block, we can, you know, right now we don't have a policy that says, hey, this is why we block you or why we deleted a comment. So now our hands are very tight at the moment, but, you know, that will change.
Good, thank you.
I think you've been doing a great job actually, because like, it was like the Kwanzaa event last week, a library event.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Was
at
fun.
packed house, and I think when we're promoting things as, you know, library events that we're also promoting on through the email, it gets packed, and I think that's great. I like that kind of coalescing around programs and events and marketing, and I think the email's been much easier to understand and see what's going on. And so I think you've done a great job over the last year, actually.
Also, your open rate is outstanding. I wish that many people would read my emails that way. So, like, congrats on your open rate.
Well, I think you've hit the right balance of not sending too many.
Yeah,
Like, I don't.
we are careful about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also it's funny because like, oh, the people read the email, oh, if you make a mistake, they'll let you know. So they are reading it.
They're reading
If there's a typo or something happened, oh, you know, we got it with emails. Like, oh yeah, people are reading it. So it's good.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Contracts. Jennifer.
Yeah, so you have a memo and two contracts in your packet. And realize you read that. One is for the security guard services, which we went through a lot of changes through this year. We had a ton of really great bids. The committee reviewing applications select Quantum as the top vendor, and you have in your packet a contract for the services of Quantum. And the second contract we have is for the purchase of shelving for the main library for renovation. It's all the mauve dusty rose shelving will go. It'll be replaced by shelving that's consistent with shelving that we have in a number of other libraries and be in a lower height. We had 4 bids. It will be white. 4 bids. One of which was for the complete project and 3 incomplete.
For moving only.
For moving only. One of the vendors who asked, do the books have to go back in order?
Yes.
So,
Like color, just like color.
in any case, the lowest bid, the lowest and only.
Very particular organizing. It's like, wait,
Order.
So you have 2 contracts in front of you. Happy to take any questions.
On the security contract, it looks about like the rates are about the same.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The contract as a whole, after all the discussions we had in reduction of guards, current guards at Meadows, Reynolds, and not rolling out guards at Kendall, it's about half the price of what the contract is.
Okay. And it sounds like you had multiple bids, and this was I guess the high bids and low bids, and this was below the median of that, and you evaluated all of them, and this is the one you felt more comfortable with. Okay.
It was a competitive process. There were, the committee reported that there were a lot of really good firms that bid this time, and there were other firms that would have been willing to consider that Quantum not been at the top, but
Okay.
we chose to.
How many employees are on the committee?
I think 4.
Since we're not competitively bidding the shelving, is these prices, are they in line with what we paid for shelving?
We didn't do that.
We only received one.
We only received one, but we posted it, we put out an RFP. Yes, the price is actually less than what we anticipated, so that's good news. It's in line with the pricing that we placed last year. So steel is not going out, shelving is steel. The company that we selected, we've worked with before, they do a great job. They do get the books back on the shelf and in order and in a timely fashion. And they have a method for, what do you call it, storing for the few weeks it's going to take to get things. Yes.
On the security contract, so the section about extended coverage, would that, like in your mind, would that be what would be utilized if for some reason you decide you're having a special events at one of the branches that isn't getting coverage right now, where we could still have security guards there for that? Okay, great.
It also includes after hours events here.
Okay, good.
Are we still having the theater open Thursday and Saturdays?
We have yet to review the final plan, but I'll bring that back to you guys.
Oh, okay. But you built that into this if we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, I anticipate that they're gonna be having at least 1, maybe 2 meetings
Okay.
after hours a week. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Did anyone else have any questions? The shelves, they look like shelves. They're not fancy or anything.
No, they look just like the shelves that you see in the other.
Okay.
And they're pure blank.
They are fancy though.
Yeah.
Those shelves are fancy and expensive.
Well, I get that. They have to hold a lot of stuff.
Kim, have you reviewed these contracts?
Yes.
All right. Anyone else have any comments? I'll make a motion. Do you want to move? Let's do each individual.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll make a motion. We approve the shelving contract with Shelf Image Inc.
I second it.
Any comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? And then the second will be the security guard services agreement. I'll make a motion that we approve this agreement for 2026. We have to change the date. Oh, I guess that's.
Second.
Any seconds? Any comments? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, any opposed? No?
I'll send those to you.
Thank you, yeah.
Signature tomorrow.
We're very happy with Quantum. I mean, you've been around for the bad old days. Quantum's been an exemplary company for us, and they give us good people who do good work. And when somebody's not doing great work, they reassign them somewhere else. And so we've been very happy with the service that we've got from them.
I've also watched them handle difficult situations, and they do a pretty good job. So they keep their patience a lot more than I probably would. With folks. Okay, treasure. Are we doing a treasure report? It's on that agenda.
Yeah, we met a couple weeks ago and talked about the statements that you all have. I was trying to find my notes on what we talked about with them, but my primary memory was that we are gonna come in at the end of the year, we think, pretty far under budget. Is that accurate?
We're projecting about 750,000. Yeah.
And that's because
It's mostly salary savings, so we didn't fill some positions that we had open. There was an overestimation of the para employer's contribution that contributed a lot of that. I think that's the big stuff.
We canceled a couple of small contracts.
But yeah, it'll be higher than we had estimated. I have it in my notes that we'll know for sure how everything shakes out once we do the audit, but that won't be until the spring.
So where do you see that number?
It's in the note at the bottom of the statement of
Okay, but
activities,
it's not in
page 31.
Yep.
No, you won't see it.
Okay.
It's part of that $5 million under the operating actuals column, second column in from the left.
I don't know, do you remember any other highlights?
I think that's the pertinent bit.
Yeah.
We are under budget, and that's good.
I think that's gonna set us up pretty well next year. And if we have the same, estimate, if we stay on budget for this year, we should be pretty good shape going into 27. So I think I'm very happy about that. So, yeah.
One development since we met was, we learned what our rebate abatement refund will be, and it will completely offset what we had anticipated, so it'll pretty much zero out. So we don't have to worry about that for next year. We're not sure how it will come in, if it'll come in and trickle through the year, if we'll get one big lump sum. It's a little over $300,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the $2,500 or whatever we spent on that consultant was worth it. To help us fill out
No,
the.
this is,
Oh,
This
that's
is
different.
property
Okay.
tax.
That's still in the works.
That's still in the works. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the tax abatement.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was thinking ebates
Yeah,
or
this is
whatever.
not the rate
We
stuff.
hadn't included the abatements in the budget, so we hadn't deducted them from the total
Okay.
revenues. So we were worried that we'd have to go, be really conservative about how we spend money next year. And we received the information that we're gonna get all of it back, plus like $20,000. So that $20,000 would flow into the fund balance. It's not appropriated to be used.
So the fund balance that it shows on page 31, is that our reserves plus capital, or is that, this is on the last line?
What you wanna see is, what you wanna look at is the balance sheet by fund. That gives you what the general fund reserves are. You look under the operating column and third column in from the left.
Okay.
You'll see the general fund reserves. Those are the restricted reserves, 2.55 million.
Okay.
And then if you go down to 3 lines down, there's the 3.1 in capital reserve. And so the change in fund balance at 5,027,000,
Mm-hmm.
that will, that's the line where the 750 will show once all the expenses are reported for this year.
Okay.
And that doesn't get finalized until the audit, because there are some expenses, like, for example, payroll. We pay, let's see if I can say this right. We paid for this year's, like 2 days of this year, next year. So that has, those accounts, or those expenses need to be reported back to this year. So there'll be some movement in that line item up until the audit. And then once the audit's done, that number will be final, whatever that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, related to the abatement?
Yep.
Does the county take a fee out of that?
I don't know.
Yes.
They do. Of course they do.
What they're really doing is collecting it in the next year's collections, just like always. But you have a little bit of an additional mill levy to recover the money that you lost this year.
I see.
So it's
Okay,
collected the
that's
same
why it
way, and the fee
increases.
is collected the same way.
Okay.
I see.
It's what, 3.5% or something? 3, yeah, the fee. The
No,
assessor fee.
1.5%.
1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
I personally think, I've shared this many times, but share it with everybody, is, if we want to do meadows the way we would like to do it, if that's the plan, we probably need, I think, $8 to $10 million to do that right. So that's I think we're on track for that. So I just wanted to, that's my thinking on that. In case I get hit by a bus tomorrow, which I hope I don't. So
I'd love that you're conjecturing. I don't
Yeah.
think we know.
we don't know.
Okay, we have to find, we will come up with something with a strategic plan about the range of costs.
Yeah.
That might be appropriate depending on if we're developing the site we're on now,
Yeah.
remodeling, getting a new building and remodeling that. There's a lot of varying factors.
Yeah, but
Size of the building matters.
that's where my brain is.
Commercial space.
So I get it. It could be higher, it could be lower. Probably gonna be higher, and but that's where my brain is on that number. Okay, director updates?
Two things. One, the wind warnings for electric shut off. So, we've just been getting updates all day. From the sounds of it now, we'll know conclusively at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. It looks from the most recent map that they mapped significantly shrunk. And so they are looking at areas right up along the front range. So depending on what they decide tomorrow morning, we could be closing some or all of our buildings tomorrow. It looks like Maine, Novo, and Carnegie are all in that mapped area, which would lose power. What we're still trying to determine is what kind of services we can provide at Reynolds Meadows and Gun Barrel in the event that they were possibly open and still have power. So that's that. I don't have much more.
How does that affect the internet?
Well,
Like, will the branches still have internet if?
They will have internet.
Okay.
You know, we have servers here in this building that we'll have to shut down prior to the power going off. We don't want the power to go off while the servers are still running. So we will start, once the announcement comes out at 6 a.m., we'll start probably taking some of those down by 7 or 8. I just don't know what that would affect in terms of the capacity for the branches to operate. The ILS, like the data system that runs all of the
Book checkouts.
book checkouts and that kind of stuff, that's in servers in Smoke. And so I don't know that will be affected, but we do have servers in this building that will have to be powered down prior to Excel should get powered down. And last time as we were talking about, there's Amy.
Hi, guys. Can I give a quick update on that?
Please.
So unfortunately, all of our internet comes into the main library, and each of the locations are on a ring. So if the main library goes down, that means all of our locations will lose internet access. We do have some contingency plans with some LTE Chromebooks where we can still do circulation for a limited amount of time. But even though Gun Barrel and Meadows and George Reynolds may have power, they will not have internet. So that's what we're looking at right now.
I think we should work with the city. I mean, I don't know, we can talk about this, but we need to come up with an emergency plan on how do we, I don't know what the levels of preparedness need to be, but I do think we probably should put a little more thought into, because I think the whole city of Boulder is going to shut down if the library shuts down, right? Internet for all the municipal stuff.
The city built, the way emergency management works is they look at critical infrastructure first, right? So what things do they need to harden? And so that is a part of the mapping itself, is like, what is critical infrastructure? What needs to be hardened so we can protect it in the event that a fire comes through the mapping. And so obviously all of the city buildings, police buildings, federal labs, the university is all in that map, right? That are protected infrastructure that they will harden and protect at whatever cost they can. There are houses right up next to it that are not, right? There are open spaces that are not in the map. So there are spaces that flow through the center of the city that are just not in
I get that.
zone, right?
But where are we in that preparedness?
We are in the civic area.
And so, I guess my question is are we part of the Office of Emergency Management or whatever that, when they're doing disaster preparedness?
Yeah,
Like that.
We have been, yeah. So, I don't know if Jennifer, when I went last year to they have multiple plans for fires and stuff like that. They always, it's a long, drawn-out process.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I just want to be prepared.
But we don't have a policy.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So what is it we need to?
Have we ever had a discussion with Excel on what it would take to keep the library online as a community resource during the start of business?
I am not. We mainly take orders from the Office of Emergency Management, or in the case of this, like the Office of Disaster Management. So whatever they tell us, and when they tell us that the civic area is closing down, that means us as well. The civic area will close down based on the decision that Excel makes at 6 a.m.
Although in this case, it's not closing because there is a fire and it's an evacuation zone. It's closing because XL will not be providing electricity.
That's correct.
I mean, this is the kind of thing where if we wanted to invest in this, we could build our buildings to withstand the power outage, but
Yeah, I think
that's a
it,
large capital expense that we have not paid for.
but I think if it's also the city's internet hub and it's on a ring, and I think like it is a point of weakness, not, I mean.
Yeah, we'd have to look at it, I mean, anyway
Yeah.
now, but I assume the city has the ability to keep their internet up without the library.
Can I make another comment?
Please.
So I hear your concerns. It's concerns that we've had since we've migrated away from the city. We have investigated the cost of putting a second head end in at another location across town. In the event of something like a power outage happening at the main library, we could still have continuity of service if we had a second head end. However, that is costly. I think it came in around 500,000 when we took a look at what it would cost. So obviously that would be the gold standard. But we've also looked at potentially putting a generator in our north closet up here. So if we did have a power outage, we could continue internet access throughout the ring. So the conversations have been going on, and we've been collecting data on what it would cost to do it. But it's not cheap.
How does it affect the city's ability? Because isn't this a main line of the city?
The Gigapop network has a lot of switches.
It has a lot of
And I
switches.
think they can circumvent any one of them
Oh,
based
okay.
on what might be happening with regard to the fire. I mean, up to a point.
Yeah, or it could be anything. It could be a flood. It could be, whatever. So
This building and Reynolds are both hubs on the fiber.
The question for us, I mean, this isn't in the 2026 budget, which we passed, but as we go into budgeting next year, the question for us is probably, do we want to invest in additional resiliency? Because to Amy's point, like, you could make it so these buildings could stay online for 24 hours with no power. It's just a matter of how much money we want to spend. And there might be value in doing that. If the rest of the city's shut down, the library is one of the few places with power. That's a significant community resource that we can offer, but we haven't made those investments yet.
I guess my concern before that is like, where do we fit within, like, where does the library fit within the disaster preparedness of the county and the city? And like,
You mean as an asset?
as an asset for the community?
Yeah, so we're in a high hazard flood zone.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are some areas, and it's never been deemed a place for shelter.
Yeah.
It's a hazardous place for shelter, and fire and horrible. And so, I mean, I think there are probably other events where it might be a place for shelter, Gun Barrel, Meadows, and Reynolds, if they're open tomorrow. If it can be open tomorrow, if only for people to go in and charge their phones, it's probably a service we would want to provide if we can, whether people can check out books or not, they can go in and charge their phone.
Yeah.
And so we would probably remain open if that's possible, but I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
More that is.
Yeah.
Yes, so that has been discussed, like whether or not the library can serve as a shelter for during crises, but we are at the hub, like the civic area is at the hub of risk for fire and flooding in Boulder.
But we have other locations, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm not being clear, or maybe and maybe it's just a conversation we continue to have, but like where I think, I don't know if there's any direction that the board wants to get, but
I think we should have a policy
yeah,
that relates to emergency response and, just the communication. Like it'd be helpful to just be communicated, on the current status from David, like you should
Yeah,
just let
maybe-
us know.
and same with like freeze when it's below 10 degrees and, sheltering for people
Yeah.
when it's below 10 degrees or when it's really hot. It'd be nice for us to understand, and maybe I think you already do a lot of this stuff.
We sign a letter with the county every year for a warming and a cooling center.
Yeah,
And,
so maybe just,
we're obliged to take busloads of people if they were to show up. It's never happened.
yeah. So maybe, like, that would be like, like, what are the different scenarios, and maybe we can
Yeah.
schedule that for some other time over the summer or something, like
Yeah.
different scenarios, and if we do have a policy, what
I
would
would
that
say
look like?
like somewhere in the first quarter of next year, we should probably
Yeah,
look at a policy.
Yeah.
So summertime.
okay, yeah, first
It could be
quarter.
Summer fires or whatever.
Yeah.
Other things.
Yeah, I'll put it in on the agenda. Thank you. Okay.
Do we need a motion on that?
Well, I guess should we have a
We had a nod.
nod? Is everybody okay with that? Okay, Tom? Okay.
Yeah, there's 5.
5 of us, okay, so,
Are you wanting us to initiate some kind of draft policy for you to look at?
I think we need to be a little clear on what we're asking.
yeah, I know, that's what I think. It's-
Do you want to just set aside some time in a future meeting to discuss library resiliency and emergency preparedness?
Yeah, let's do that first.
Yeah.
And then that's I think what we're looking for first is here's the different events and here's what we're signed up to do. I think that would be something that we would want to know. Or you know, here's the different events and here's how we've been used. That could be the other piece that even though we haven't been signed up to do it, it could get if it's freezing outside, you know, the city could say, well, I know that we already say we're a warming shelter, but you know, in a flood, because I saw during one, you know, I have seen during the emergency things, like, go to the library if you want to charge your phone or whatever, you know, or whatever, so.
So that's what you're talking
Yeah, I want to see what are we signed up to do and various.
We don't mention it in the IGA, do we?
No, but we don't have a policy, but
No,
you know, we
no, I
do
know,
have a
but
clear
I mean, in
understanding
terms
that
of-
we take off orders from the Office of Emergency Management. There is no ambiguity about that whatsoever.
Okay, that's good to know, I didn't know that.
That's true of every governing entity.
Because if they come into the North Boulder Library and say, we're using this as a command post,
Then we
you
take
know,
that order, right?
yeah.
There's not, we don't, nobody, that is not dispute. The fire department takes orders from Office of Emergency Management and fire. Everybody takes orders from those.
Yeah.
And I think the main question is less that and more, do we want to go above and beyond that in terms of what the library tries to provide in these situations?
But we can offer.
I think that's the
things.
next conversation.
We have looked at them in the past, the city, I mean, I think it was the insurance companies and also FEMA. The Red Cross, none of them would certify the library as a location for any type of service. It was deemed, we were deemed to be a hazardous location because the threat is really a fire and flood. And this is the last place you want to be, just like, I think the Boulder Valley the high school here, Boulder High School has some limited aspects, but it also not fully compliant for purposes of like building and having a shelter.
Boulder High is a mess. You
Well, you know, you think of it as all downtown, but these are the places that are at the highest risk.
So maybe we do a meeting next year, we get an
Yeah.
update just on what the library already does.
Yeah.
And we have a discussion about whether we want to change any of that.
Yeah. It would, also, the IT piece would be interesting to understand.
Yeah, and I mean, to the extent that Amy has numbers already, I think we want to just do numbers for the sake of us.
No, I just more like what
Would be good to
happens
roughly.
and, you know,
Well, yeah, obviously during a fire, we want to evacuate the library, but if increasingly we're going to have periods of time where the power grid is shut down proactively, that's a different class of risk that we probably haven't considered in the past, so.
yeah, okay. You probably didn't think it was gonna go that much conversation. But I mean, it's too late for tomorrow, but, you know, I was in the military and we always were planning for a disaster. So that's how I think about it.
The only other thing on the updates is, like, I think you all are aware, we've had some plumbing issues at Gun Barrel, it's due to a faulty line that runs down the street. Landlord, it's a costly item that we did not budget for. It is pretty clear to me from the contract, it's the responsibility of the landlord, so the landlord is getting alternative bids and has expressed the interest in choosing from among those bids, and we'll contract that service should something happen. Nothing is imminent in terms of a disaster, but it is like, it's a problem. And probably the bid that we got is probably gonna be the lowest one that they will see, because I think when their plumber came out today, thought it was much worse than our plumber did. So we'll see, I'll keep you updated on that.
They can fix it.
Does it impact patrons' use and all that?
No, not yet. But yeah, it could.
It has backed up once already.
The backed up once we were able to get a crew in overnight to clean up, and then the library was ready to go the next day.
Any damage?
In fact, there would have been. I'm glad we put that plumber's closet in, or the janitor's closet. Came up to the drain. we'll see what I think the plumbing was out there today had a much more catastrophic sense of what the condition of the plumbing is, and it may affect operations.
And has the landlord accepted? Not yet. I do remember in the lease, we were pretty particular about exterior, especially plumbing lines and utility lines being a landlord item. So hopefully they'll see it that way.
You can tell them if they'd like to gift us the building, we'll pay for the plumbing.
I am telling you that. I did tell you that.
Can you just comment on what's the activity like at Glenboro since opening?
It's solid, right? It's not like any of the other branches. I think, oh gosh, I have to look at these numbers. I think we're probably, Novo took 3 or 4 months to really ramp up, and then last year Novo's door count passed the other branch libraries. I wouldn't say cut barrel after 2 months. I mean, they were going into slow speed a year too. Novo opened in July. We're opening in October, January, February, all these are slow months. So I think good. I think it's going really well. We've had some amazing turnout. Story times, like 60 kids on Saturdays, pretty phenomenal. Seats are packed. It's a small library. I mean, it gets busy with school students after school. It's been doing well. You've been there as much as I have.
No, it's pretty steady. Yeah, it's pretty steady. Bunch of book clubs, I think.
You were there
I was
on the
there on
weekend.
Saturday,
Yes.
and yeah, there was lots of traffic on Saturday morning, so.
Cool. And that's the end of my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Library Foundation, Andy or Kara?
I mean, I can read what Chris sent. Okay. So Chris couldn't make it tonight, but he sends his best. The main updates from the foundation side is obviously we're in kind of the middle of the end of the year fundraising sprint right now. For the first time ever, the foundation was eligible to participate in Colorado Gives Day due to some fun IRS machinations from earlier in the year that we went through. But the good news is we had a fairly successful Colorado Gives Day. We raised roughly 65 grand over the course of the kind of 3-week Colorado Gives Day period that exists. So we're happy with that. It's a lot more than 0, which is what we've raised in Colorado Gives Days in the past. So that helps kind of this year our Gala fundraising was way above where we expected, but our kind of standard fundraising was a little below, and this helps, I think, to kind of get back to where the foundation wanted to be on its non-Gala related fundraising. So that went well. Chris also called out the successful Kwanzaa celebration that happened at the Canyon Theater. The foundation was a sponsor on that event, and it was quite successful. So I think a good collaborative community event that was well received there. And there's going to be a donor event coming up this Friday at 9 a.m. in the Boulder Creek Room, where we're having Emily Reynolds of Boulder Reads update just anyone who would like to attend, but it's being advertised primarily to BLF donors on the work that Boulder Writes has been doing, since that's one of the major programs that the foundation has funded this year. Anything else?
That's it, that's the one.
Okay.
Friday, 9 a.m. in Boulder Creek Room.
Friday, 9 a.m. Boulder Creek Room with the BLF, with the BLD, Emily Reynolds.
I'd just say on the Kwanzaa thing, both the chancellor and the new provost were there.
Yeah. Yep. And half the board of regents, more than half the board of regents. It was a great event.
Yeah, I meant to go, and
There was no room for it.
was shuttling children around
There was no room.
to music lessons, and I there's no way I'm gonna do this.
It was hard to find a seat.
So, but my friends were playing the drums, so
Oh, that was good.
yeah. So, okay, trustee matters. I think the first thing is the self-assessment.
Yeah, so we purposely sent you, I had Celia send you the messy one, make a copy of the messy one, just so you can see what we're changing. It's essentially the same as before, but we've added some new questions. And we're going with yes, sometimes no, and uncertain as the answers. So I would just ask that you take a look at this. If you have no objections to any of the changes, then we can quickly hit accept all changes. And then we can maybe have someone put this, I think we did this electronically last year. Does that ring a bell?
Libby did it.
Yeah.
I just spoke to Libby earlier.
Yeah, she
Okay.
did it on the
Yeah,
Google
like
Forms.
So yeah, so if we could do that, then we could quickly all do it online once it's, so maybe if we give everyone until like Friday to send in, and so if you don't comment, we'll assume that it's fine for you, and then we can say it's done.
And then I guess just send it out. I don't know, we'll look at the calendar here, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we'll.
I mean, it is like most of it's broken down into evaluating the board as a whole, how well the board conducts itself, and then there's a section about the board and the director, and then there's like personal performance, which I think is a good way to kind of reflect on where you are. So it's good stuff.
And the draft or the version of this that I picked up was at the state conference, and I think this was produced by the state library folks. So we incorporated that into what we had before, but it just seemed like a good tool that we could use and talk about as we receive feedback. And then the next item relates
Sorry,
to.
real quick, on the annual assessment, do we have a timeline on when we want to put it out, when we want to get the results?
Well, right, so we, so let us know by Friday of this week if you have any suggested changes, or if you don't, just, silence will be perceived as an acceptance. And then after that, then they can go ahead and start putting it online for us to fill out.
Okay, and then we want to turn it around by like end of January
Pretty
or next
quickly, yeah,
meeting?
pretty quickly, because this was actually supposed to be for this year, so I mean, fairly quickly.
Well, how about we put an agenda item to discuss the results at our January 21st meeting?
And is that doable?
I think it probably is, but I'm not gonna commit, Libby
Okay.
to putting it out until after the first.
Okay,
fine.
and
We'll just-
going
There's only
forward,
7 of us.
what we would do is we will, in the future, fill this out before the retreat so that we can discuss it at the retreat.
that's a
I
good
think this
idea.
is just,
That was my,
that'll be the plan.
hoping we would put it as a retreat item, and it was before, but we've changed around the schedule a little bit, so.
Yeah, we have.
So,
Okay.
okay, next
Our
up.
next pieces have to do with the job description of the executive director, the contract for the executive director that we wanted to get in a calendar year timeline and schedule, and then information that I had requested from Libby related to compensation of the library director. And so the first document you see there then is the contract that includes my red inserts of date and schedule, because the contract originally was a June contract that we had done so that we would have that in place with this goal of having this in place for a January through December 31 contract in the future. And so all the red line stuff is in there, and then I took the, from Kara's communication, the goals that we had established in August, and there were no changes related to that. You can see in the compensation what I inserted there, and this is important for us to own because we haven't actually sort of owned the merit increase of the executive director in the past, and so that's why we're doing this and also inserting it here in the contract. And then you had inserted this section, right?
Yeah, that was from the last time. I was
Okay.
wondering if that
Okay.
changed or
No,
it just is
no,
in there.
it was still there in blue, so I
Okay.
didn't change it, but there was just that section in
that was in the
related
June
to
contract.
if the board was terminating the contract. And so that is it. And so if, so that's that piece of it. And then you could see in the library compensation slides that Libby prepared for me, I had asked her to just give us a sense of what the compensation had been in the previous years. But do note that in 2026, that was her notation related to that percentage and plan. That
Okay.
is not what we're doing. And I am calling this, with the approval of a merit increase, not cost of living increase. So,
Okay.
which is what has been the terminology, I think, in the past. But it's important for us to own the relationship with the executive director and the contract and the compensation. So that's a part of what we're doing here. And then you could also see the research that was done related to salary levels of other directors in the district and where we're at. So,
Sorry, the contract and the PowerPoint, I think, don't line up.
What are we discussing now versus in the executive session?
Well, this is the public contract. I guess if you wanted to negotiate or discuss negotiations with, I wasn't planning on doing anything in the executive session.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Fred,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Unless
Yeah, I
you
mean, we
feel like
matched.
there's something.
Previous years, we just matched. Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
we're not doing that. No, I'm saying that,
Sorry, can you repeat your question? And
no, it's fine. The spreadsheet says salary, there's a box. It's not the spreadsheet, the PowerPoint, it says salary. It's like 23, 24, 25, 26.
that's what I'm saying.
We're looking at the 26 contract.
Right.
But the contract draft says 190 and the spreadsheet on the PowerPoint says 196.
That's what I said, like that, everything's fine except that was her added there without, I didn't.
So we're not giving David a raise.
Yeah, we are.
So then how, so
It's right
that,
here, it's in the contract.
it'll be 4% of
It's
196.80.
Right, so
104.
it's in F. It's
But
listed there.
it's not listed there. That's his current salary.
Yeah, but
It's one in-
Yes.
oh, it's, yeah.
Right,
Okay, that is
So-
dramatically confusing.
okay, sorry,
It's a very
No, it's
confusing way to write the contract.
We should-
write the-
Yeah, I'll just.
We should say, we should put
say
in
what
the
the
salary for
number is.
2026
Yeah.
and then say this includes a merit increase of 4%
I like
effective
that.
January.
Yeah, I
That's
like that
fine.
better too.
I'll
Because
just-
this looks like that his salary in 2026 is going to be the same as it was in 25, and that's not.
yeah, with the merit increase of 4%.
But that means that his actual salary for 2026 is not in the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll add.
So you'd have to do the math. That doesn't make
I
sense.
think we just update the
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah, and
Sorry, I was just making sure that I was understanding.
and so Doug, are you gonna finalize this before I get signed?
I will, yes.
Okay, so can you also make sure, so I had taken out the little bullet points in the formatting for the goals, but I obviously didn't use the same formatting running throughout, so can you just make sure it all matches?
I'll finalize.
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, it didn't move over.
Yeah, and well, no, I have I in 1, and I have A, B, C in 4. This is why you don't do these things when you work at work. So yeah, we just need to grow that.
Okay, so contract is one item to approve with the amendments or corrections as noted. And then the other piece to approve is the job description, which again, we had not ever, since we formed as a district, actually sort of adopted or endorsed the job description of the executive director. And as I said at a few meetings at the CalCon conference, what I was hearing was a message of, we need a job description. This isn't a recruitment or a job posted or anything like that. It's just to affirm that there's a job description that we as a board have adopted or approved.
Can I just ask a dumb question, maybe? So for David's purposes, he is being judged on the basis of the contract or the job description?
The contract.
Because is there really a difference between the two? Is there anything that doesn't align?
No, I mean, I don't think so, but no, I think more of the goals are in the contract, which is.
The job description is more just a thing to have
Right,
to
it's
file.
just to have and
Okay.
have on file, and if somebody ever asks, like, so what's your job description, what's the job description of the executive director? Well, we could say as a trustees, we've adopted this, and I would just note that, just on the bottom, it should say, instead of, adopted by the district board of directors, it should say board of trustees, if we approve that, so.
I think
That
from an
would be-
HR perspective, it's the right thing to have a job description too. I mean, so if you're not doing the right thing, you can say like, look at this job description.
Well, but I guess
Right?
that's my question.
Yeah.
We have a
No,
goal
we say look at the
that outlines
content.
these roles.
Yeah.
So that's,
They
But
look
not
matching.
word, yeah,
It's
word.
not word for word, but I wouldn't
No.
expect it to be word for word. I
No.
would expect it just to be like upheld in the essence of it, which I compare the two, it seems fine.
yeah, okay.
I guess I thought about this when I first saw this and I didn't bring it up. Do we need to have the percentages and the essential functions? Are those really necessary? Because I don't know, we didn't look at with David to see if that actually seems correct, if that makes sense.
I see.
No, they were in there, and so
Yeah.
I just
All
made
of
sure
our
the
job
end of
descriptions have those.
Have the percentages, okay. I don't know.
you know, again, it's, I wouldn't say generic, but I mean, it's a,
Yeah, no, I get you. I guess I want to make sure that those look somewhat.
and then, I don't know whose font or whatever this is, but I just want it in the standard font that we had before. I don't know how this got printed out like this. It's weird, it's hard to read. I don't think it was my font, but, it's the right thing.
It doesn't matter who's.
Yeah, but anyway. But we just, yeah, so I would like to make a motion to approve the contract for David for the year 2026. It would be effective January 1 with the corrections noted in the formatting of the goals and in correcting and clarifying the compensation that we've listed here, and is there something else?
No, that's
Okay,
it.
That's my motion.
Yeah, and then it will be 198,307 if you, and 57 cents. I don't know.
Okay.
We round up.
We can round if you'd like to have the sense.
Let's just say round it 58. Okay, 308.
Yeah.
Okay.
I second it. Keep going.
You second.
I was gonna say, I'd second the motion.
All right. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
And then I would like to move acceptance of the job description as presented with the correction of changing the words directors to trustees.
Down here.
I guess maybe to Kara's point, there's like nothing in the JD. I don't think you have to put like that. There's exactly what his goals are, but there's no point just saying like a director would be held to certain goals.
Oh, it's in
Is
the
it?
contract. It's in the contract.
Not in the contract, but in the JD.
You're asking whether it would be worth having.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
bullet
don't-
point that refers to specific.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I mean, I don't know.
Does
if
that
we would
matter?
Need
Yeah.
that, yeah,
Because they could change.
yeah.
I wouldn't list them all out, but that like you're held responsible. I don't know. You don't have to.
What purpose, this document's largely informal relative to the
If I'm
contract.
hiring somebody new that
Yes.
you're gonna be held to goals, I would write that in a job description for somebody I'm hiring.
Well, I think we would possibly update.
Yeah, we'd probably
Like-
update that.
Yeah, well, I know, I'm just saying, like, I would not put in all those, but I would
I
just
mean, we
say.
could add is under essential functions, carry out the goals of the library board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds fine.
I
Let's,
could-
let's just do it now.
Do
I'll
we,
say-
can we add it to anything that is there now?
Just add a bullet point carries out the goals of the library.
It's the last essential function now, but it messes up those percentages.
Oh, that's
so I
right.
was-
Oh, well, we could do under additional.
So if that stresses everyone out, we don't have to do it. We don't have to do it.
No, but could it be additional responsibility?
That's what I'd say.
Yeah, let's just make it that.
There you go.
Yeah,
And carries out the goals of the.
that sounds
I
lovely.
think that's fine.
Okay, I'm not gonna do like
Yeah.
Robert's rules and have to take a motion to amend and
And
then.
so I would just a
I'm gonna
friendly
just
amendment
draw
would
my
be-
motion and then I'll take a
Did I
motion.
make didn't I?
Yeah, but we have to
I know,
technically.
but just, with the additions of, as discussed.
Okay. Alright, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed.
Yay.
So
Uh,
we're making these changes and then sending you
Yeah,
a
you can-
copy,
yeah,
final copy?
Yeah.
and just put it in
Or
our
just let me
file.
see, yeah.
David, we didn't ask you if everything's okay with that.
Yep, all right, thank you.
Did you bring the official weights?
What's that?
We have to make sure David can exert 20 pounds of force.
We should have a test of strength every year.
I'll play on with Bobby Kennedy on that. There we go.
More than happy.
Test of strength.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
Um,
I've said 1,000 times, I do feel privileged to have it's the best job I could possibly ever hoped for. I don't always feel like that every day, but most days I feel like I would do it from So I'm grateful to you guys for extending the offer and the contract for another year.
Calendar, can you
Thank you.
pass out the calendar, please?
Does anybody want dessert? I had her say, should I go get this one?
They are good.
Yeah, I have one. I'll have one. I wanted to come over.
Yeah. So awkward being like, let me go eat.
Okay,
Alright.
so we haven't done this in a few months, since October, but, oh, sure. So, got a lot of stuff coming up. I asked sort of, that, you know, we have a meeting in January, meeting February, meeting March. The March meeting, I guess, the first thing is that's during BBSD spring break. So I'm gonna be out of town.
Same.
And so you're gonna be out of town. I don't know if David will be or not, but I would ask that we move that regular meeting to the 10th potentially, March 10th.
That's fine.
Okay. So that's gonna be the 10th.
And just to clarify, this calendar is like the basic calendar. It doesn't have all the special things that we're doing, right? It's just
No,
our general run-of-the-mill calendar.
Yeah, like-
These are the normal things we have to do yearly,
correct.
right? Okay, yeah, just making sure.
Well, and I mean, I did put in like, in February, I asked David if they could give us an update on the strategic plan,
Yeah,
stuff.
that's great,
And
yeah,
that's the kind of stuff,
right.
like we just talked about a emergency, you know, what, we'll just have to do that in March.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And so I think we have guidance from legal counsel. So we have a couple of requests. We have a request to meet with the organizers for the union committee. And I think we said we would do that again.
This is just our subcommittee, so two of us.
The subcommittee, I think it was gonna be Benita and I, right? So,
Yeah, I just want to make sure we just rotate around and have nothing to do with Tom's participation, right?
no, I get that. And then Tom, you can take my role and whatever. And so let's, like, I'll reach out for some reason, but I don't know, since we just got these back, I think these questions back today. And so and we're gonna have to like process them and discuss it. If we're gonna be able to make a decision tonight. I don't think we're gonna be able to make a decision tonight. Maybe we can. But on the policy or lack or any of the union activities, we say. And so I should say, like, maybe we might need a special meeting in January to also, after we've reviewed it, set for the holidays, then we can make it. I think we'll, by that time, unless we have more legal questions, be able to say one way or the other.
We could also invite our attorney to that meeting to answer
Yeah.
questions live as needed.
That'd be good.
But I do think the question for that meeting would be, I assume you want to meet with the organizers between now and that meeting, so.
Yes.
Or
It's
after
gonna be
that.
January 1st, kind of quickly here.
No, I get that, and so.
So I thought it would be in between the special meeting and a regular meeting that the subcommittee would meet.
Okay, so you want us to have a special meeting to discuss the topic again prior to meeting directly with the organizers?
Well, I think then we'd have a better sense of what our discussion.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I guess the question is,
Yeah,
what
so
would you be discussing with the organizers if you met now?
So I'm not sure we're all on the same page. When I talked to Doug about it, right? So it seems to me, let's see what we're gonna learn tonight in executive session about the law. Then I think we've got to find a way for us to see where we are, how close we all are on the same page.
Or not.
I have no pride of ownership with just saying off of that document that I brought the last time. And then once we know that, then we set up a conversation with the organizing committee and the subcommittee. Because otherwise we're gonna go into it and we're not we don't know where we are. Or they won't know where we are.
Yeah, no, I think we should have a special session,
So,
special meeting.
you know, maybe we meet again in that first week in January, a special session to do that, and then we've got a window for a subcommittee meeting before we all meet again at the end of June.
Okay, and so if we meet the special meeting, we'll talk about, I don't know, but maybe we'll have more lead questions or whatever, but then it would be, you know, what do you see us doing on January?
So for
6th or
example,
10th?
like, short of needing any other clarification from the lawyer,
Right,
or from what we're gonna learn from later tonight, assuming that, you know, I would make a motion that day to take the document that I sent, and we work through it to see where are we in alignment as the trustees based upon that document? What shouldn't be in here, what should be added into it, so that by the end of that working session, we've got what we see as our policy.
I think we'll have so I see what you're saying. So I think we'll have a precedent question, would be whether the board wants to engage in that. And then the second question would be, if they do, then, you know, we have your
What's the
document,
policy?
what's the policy gonna be and what it should look like.
Right,
So,
and in the meantime, the organizing committee has it, so if they have thoughts they want to share with us, they're free to do that.
yeah, I get that. Yeah,
And I
okay,
don't think before we sit down and start, which is essentially starting a negotiation, starting a conversation between the subcommittee and the organizing committee, we need to have our own ducks in a row.
I mean, okay, I think that works for me. I think, so what day is the 6th okay, or the 10th?
Oh,
Or the,
The 10th is a Saturday.
not 10th, I'm sorry, the 13th.
I'm gone the 6th.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough that
Yeah,
first
the
week.
6th is, yeah.
So I think
The 13th is more.
the 13th, so we'll have 2 meetings in a row,
2 weeks in a row, yeah.
but
That's
nothing. That's
That's
right.
nothing.
Okay, so the 13th we'll have a special meeting.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make a motion to,
And do we want public discussion in that meeting, or is that just?
I would like to have
Yeah,
public discussion at that
okay.
meeting. So we'll have a public comment period and
If we do have additional legal questions, it might make sense for us to start with an executive session and get those answered and then go into public discussion, but I think we'll know more once we. have the
Yeah,
executive
yeah, I
session
think
tonight.
so. Yeah. So, yes, we will have public comment and then, again, we'll limit to 60 minutes like we normally do, 3 minutes per person, I suppose. And we'll do that on January 10th. 13th.
It's gonna be a long.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Sorry. January 13th. Okay, and then I think we'll take it from there. I don't know, we might have to have more special meetings, but we can always make the call on the 20th to see where we're at. And, go ahead.
So the meeting then with the subcommittee would happen sometime between the 13th and 20th?
Yes.
I think so. It's a short turnaround, but they'll also have public comment.
Or it happens between the 13th and a special meeting in February.
Yeah, I mean,
Or something like that.
it's really hard to get all of this put together in one piece and then communicate because we only get to sit together and talk, so.
And there's a good chance that when we start, if we decide to work on policy, it's probably maybe a little optimistic to assume that we're gonna get the policy done that same day.
No,
Yeah, no.
I think it's gonna take
That's not happening.
several
That's not happening, yeah.
months. I think also, it's been, I feel like we've moved pretty quick.
So
It's been like 8 weeks.
we have moved very fast.
Yeah.
As I've said before to the employees, the employee group that's here and to us, we don't have to rush this thing, we have to get it right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important part of this. And so we're taking all the right steps. It's gonna take extra meetings. It may not flow on paper, may not flow in reality like we're thinking about it on paper.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what we will do. That's all. I think, any other,
I had one other trustee matter.
okay.
Hopefully this will be relatively quick, but one of the things we need to be thinking about for next year that we might need to think about sooner rather than later is if we want to move up the discussion with council on transferring the buildings to us. Council is putting together the work plan now. And if you want to make that ask that it winds up on their 28-26 work plan, it would probably behoove us to message that to them in the next week or two, certainly before the end of the year. So I think the question is, do we want to have that discussion next year? And if the answer is yes, we need to figure out how we want to at least ask them to put it on their work plan. They may not, but like if we don't ask now, it's definitely not going to happen.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
So I've talked to several council members about this actually, because I'm meeting with them on another thing. And I guess one of their questions was, would it require us to change the IGA at all? If they vested the buildings to us, do you remember?
Aren't they leased individually? And then there's the IGA.
I thought they were separate.
Yeah, there's
Agreement, there's like
The lease
separate-
is separate, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, their
The IGA states that we'll revisit the conversation of building ownership in 2027,
that's what I thought.
which coincides with the time in which the city is probably leaving the civic area and moved out behind walls. And so,
They told me the only thing they're moving is, well, they're moving the people, but the council chambers will still be over there.
They are not aligned on what they're moving.
Oh, okay. Okay, so anyway, so they said our first step, well, Matt said our first step should be to talk with Nuria.
I've already met with the city.
Oh, okay.
There was the recommendation of the city to deed the buildings to us when the district was formed. And it is still their recommendation.
So
the question really for us is, do we want to try to push this conversation sooner than 2027, which to David's point is when the IGA says we're having it. But if we're going to be making decisions next year that hinge on this, it might behoove us to have the conversation sooner.
We need to move.
It doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, just get ask.
Yeah. One of the other elements that factors in here is the facility use of, during the Sundance Film Festival. And so I sit on the Colorado Education and Cultural Facilities Finance Authority. And so we finance cultural bonding and for facilities and infrastructure and that kind of thing. And so I learned at a meeting yesterday that the Sundance Institute is coming before my SEPCA board with an ask, a financing ask to upgrade certain facilities in Boulder that they will need for the festival. Which is very interesting, but I hadn't heard that till yesterday, and I don't have any other details related to that, but I started thinking about, some of the facilities that they might be using and what that looks like, and maybe it ties into the city's interest now in, getting out of that, the business of this, but I don't know. So I just think that plays into just the whole timing of this for us as well, and our capital investments that we have that could very well be better aligned with, Sundance and their needs, and some improvements that we may not be anticipating that we may not have to cover.
So okay, that'd be good. I guess if they want to use the facility, they should let us know or talk to us about it, yeah.
We're meeting with them, I think, next week.
Oh, okay.
Some things we've met with them in the past. They're aware of our policy that doesn't allow for ticket sales. And so I think.
But we're changing, we're looking at that.
Yeah, maybe I think they're also adjusting what their expectations are as well to fit with that, right? Because I don't, tickets are $60 a movie, and I think they're looking at what events could they hold at the library that would be free.
Oh, cool.
So if we do want to make this, it sounds like we're broadly aligned on making the ask.
So make room for us somewhere in your 20.
Yes, I think it basically would be, we need Doug or me or someone, we basically need to send a letter to them and
We need to send a
ask.
letter.
Yeah, okay, so hold on. When you talked to Nuria, what did she say? She said, send us a formal request, what did she say? Or?
It's a political issue, Doug.
It's council,
Okay.
we need, not.
It's council, not
Planning.
city. And the process for actually, I thought there would be a longer process for deeding buildings. It's not complicated at all.
Okay, so then then I think the council told me they're like, oh, it's a staff issue. They'll do, but yeah, I think so. I think then we should write a letter prior to January 10th.
I think we should send it before the end of the year.
Can I make a motion?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I make a motion that we send a letter to the council telling them that we'd like to start the conversation about the transfer of the buildings in 2026. That we send a letter to the council informing them that we'd like to start the conversation about transferring the buildings in 2026. We don't need to get into any more details
Got
than
it.
that.
Yeah, I love
I
it.
think we just say we're requesting
And
time.
so that we want this on their agenda and so they bring it up at their retreat.
The retreat, yeah.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Who's gonna write it?
I would go.
Andy?
I think Andy brought it up, so.
Yeah,
I think Andy brought it up, but I think
He just drafted it.
I think
instead,
Andy
so-
brought it up, but I think it has to come from Doug.
Yeah,
Yeah, Doug will be the one to send it. Benita, I can work with you. We can get a draft out in the next week. But yeah, I think we just need to get this turned around sooner rather than later. We're gonna miss our window.
I don't think
And
it's
then
gonna.
there might be a little bit of lobbying for us to do individually on the side, but we can sort that
Well, we
out.
heard at the dinner meeting that we had in August that they were very much interested in this and think it was such a big issue.
Right. The question is, are they interested enough to make it one of the 10 things they put on their work plan for 2026?
Well, I don't think it needs to be fully
It's not
on.
even
It's not even a.
Just
big
needs to be
but-
somewhere on the calendar.
But I just think it needs to be a calendar item. The other piece on the calendar was recess in June. Everybody okay with that? So you can schedule your vacations and all that stuff. Not that you can't schedule a vacation all the time, but staff especially. And then August 23rd, I believe, is a Sunday. And I hope I got that day right. For the next retreat, I just wanted to put that on your radar, if that's an okay time. I guess, let's just say, I'm gonna make a motion that we'll have it on August 23rd, and so we'll set the date for the retreat. Anyone,
Why don't,
or we
why
can
don't we
just do it
just
now?
accept the calendar?
Accept the calendar, yeah. I mean, because the calendar, it's not perfect.
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
but-
so I'm gonna set it for August 23rd with not hearing any objections.
I have one other major item
Okay,
that you might want to consider.
okay,
I can say you don't do it.
Please.
But whether or not you want to ask your lawyer to draft language for re-debrucing the library so that in the next tax assessment, we won't be capped at 5% increase, but rather could keep the tax money that we get. Buena Vista did it in the last election successfully, simple language.
And now there's like some new term because it's not supposed to be called debrucing.
No, it's not debrucing. I'm calling it re-debrucing, but the community already voted to allow us to keep the taxes that we owed, but the new law has changed that and we're capped at 5%.
Yeah. Because nobody even knows Doug Bruce or knew of him.
This would require a vote in the 2026 general election.
I think that's for you guys to decide.
what's the deadline that for referring issues to the ballot? Do you know?
The actual issue goes in right at the beginning of September. The county will want to know at the end of July whether
Okay.
or not we're going on the ballot.
So I think we would need a presentation in at least April or May, David, on like what that would look like. I don't know. Like, I'm okay with.
Are we asking David or are we asking Kim?
Well, that's for the motion, but I would like a little bit of presentation on what it would mean from a revenue perspective. Because if we're gonna push for a ballot measure, we're gonna have to,
Well, next year, there won't be an assessment in 2026. 2026, there's not an assessment, but in the middle of 2027, July of 2027, there would be a reassessment of this values of properties.
I'm thinking.
Then we would determine in January of 2028, whether if we want to be positioned to that, do you want to be running an election in 2027 in an off year? Or?
No. But I think if it's on the ballot, we're gonna have to like talk to it and give some reasons why. And so I think, and so I wasn't planning on. Well, I was planning on doing other things, but so that would take an effort on our part or someone's part. So and so because we're gonna face the thing. And
I don't need a decision tonight. It's-
No, I think
Let's
that,
put it on the agenda.
let's put it on the agenda for April. Just real quick though, would it say like without raising taxes? Is that what the measure says?
Yes.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
I have one quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mentioned it to you, I think, David, about Rocky Mountain PBS's interest in being able to produce some programming out of the library on things that we were already doing, like the Jaipur Festival or the gala or other things. And I had a meeting today with them about a project I'm doing and also one for Modus. And they brought it up and they are definitely interested in it. And they would even, the Ken Salazar thing you and I talked about, they were like, oh, like if you filmed that, we would broadcast that. So I'm just throwing it out there so you're aware of it and we can have more conversations because it's getting late. Later.
Okay, no, we don't really make.
No, I just wanted you to
Okay.
be aware of it. I've
So they're
been in this
Is
conversation.
it stuff that's going on in the theater and they're recording it and they wanna be able to?
Yeah, they could show up with a camera and
Oh.
record it and then at least stream it as programming. They do a lot of streaming now. They're busy figuring out what they're gonna be because they assume eventually there won't be a national PBS.
Oh, really?
And they will be a standalone public television station that is Colorado based. And then they're forming a lot of alliances with other PBS stations in other parts of the country.
So they would film or we would film?
They would film.
Okay.
But they even said, like if we were filming something and we had content, they would see if they couldn't use it. So.
Okay, that's awesome. Any more comments on the calendar? Everybody's okay with it? Okay, all right, with that,
Do you mean to vote on the calendar this time?
I think we're okay.
Just,
I think
I would just add to December, approval, annual approval of the director's contract.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Now that we are on schedule here.
I think we also need to add the foundation updates on the regular meetings, all of the regular meeting schedules.
Okay, I'll add that.
Well, I like the idea that the liaisons give the foundation updates.
We can discuss that. I'm happy to have Chris do it if he wants to come to the meetings, but if there's meetings he can't make, I think we're happy to fill that role.
Yeah. And then, do we need to have anything about a timeline about the new trust, like the selection committee and whatnot for the new trustees? Is
That will be, we'll start that in January. That's appoint trustee to serve as ex officio members.
Okay, yes.
so January. The problem is, and maybe this is another, I haven't got around to it, but we have like I have multiple calendar items.
Yeah.
So like.
We can spread things around.
Well, no, it's just that I look at one document for like, here's all our monthly tasks and.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Okay.
It's just the way it was started out and I haven't changed it yet. And I'm organizationally challenged like that. So, anyway, okay.
I mean, it seems like that recruitment packaging process is really early. Maybe not.
No.
Is it?
No.
I know, it's like.
It's the same time. It just came by so fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. All right. That is all of our regular items.
Legal counsel?
Well, legal counsel update.
You hit on both of the things I was gonna raise, the abatement levy and the potential election, so. Yeah.
It'd be nice if other districts ran it all at the same time.
Pardon me?
If the other districts all ran it at the same time. I don't know if you talked to them, but.
Yeah, we do, there's a lot that are behind, because the decision to even add that new tax limitation didn't come around until somewhere in August.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm gonna move that we go into executive session. Upon approval of 2/3 trustees present and acting, the board may enter into an executive session for the purposes of receiving legal advice specific legal questions by the district special counsel regarding workers' unionization and collective bargaining as allowed under section 24-6402, 4B, and personnel matters related to the subject of negotiations concerning executive director contracts as allowed by section 24-6440. I don't know if we're gonna hit all one, but we already did it, so. But I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.